Both bills would amend Section 714 of Title 31 of the U.S. Code to remove the restrictions on how the Government Accountability Office can audit the Federal Reserve. With these limitations gone, the Fed's discount window operations, funding facilities, open market operations, and agreement with foreign central banks and governments would all finally be open to congressional oversight. Today we are delivering at the state capitol, they're delivering it as we speak, over 120,000 petitions to the offices of Congress and Senate in D.C.
Woo!
I'm happy to say I have here today, and it looks like I may get a few more signatures before you leave. I'm happy to say that we are delivering 2,498 signatures from just 4 counties in Virginia. There are more than 10,000 signatures. Like I said, they're still collecting all day today. But the last word was there were 10,000 signatures being delivered to Senator Warner in D.C. So I want to thank you all for your support, your participation in this cause, for spreading the word, for forming coalitions, for blogging about it, and sharing it with your friends and neighbors. We will make this a successful fight in Washington. Is there anybody who would like to say anything about their experiences regarding discussing Audit the Fed with legislators or with their neighbors or other organizations? Dick Michael, he is our Chesterfield County Coordinator for Campaign for Liberty.
I went to the Chesterfield County Fair a couple of weeks ago, and I took this petition around and I talked to strangers, people I had never met before in my life. And whether they were at the Republican booth or the Democratic booth, whether they were just people who felt like they were independents, every single person gave me a moment to discuss this issue, signed on immediately, without hesitation. Whenever I've discussed this issue with somebody, they think it's ridiculous that nobody in Congress can tell us what collateral the Federal Reserve took in for the loans that they've sent out. They think it's ridiculous that our Federal Reserve sent our currency, $500 billion, over to the European Central Bank. And they don't know where it went after that. They have no idea. When they put the money out there and they increase the money supply, they can do nothing but harm the dollars that are in your pocket. Our nation is going to face inflation in the future unless we get a hold on this. If we get a grip on this now, we can still save our currency. We can still save our republic. But we really have to work hard now to get people involved, get them to understand what's going on, and get them educated about the issues that are facing our country. And so far, I watched what happened Saturday in D.C. I heard 1 million people. I'm not sure exactly how many people were there. I don't think anybody knows. But I'm inspired every time I see something like that happen. When people get together and they talk about what's going on, and they get together and they let the government know that they're aware, it makes me feel like we have a real chance.
Thank you.
What is the change? Pretty good. Jim Webb's already signed on as a co-sponsor. And so, since we've got half of the senators in the state of Virginia, I think that we have a chance to get the other half. I've been in here, I've talked to Ms. Hardy, who's the state director for Warner. I spoke to the lady that's in there today, and they understand. I just hope that he's listening to them, and I hope he's reading. It's only a one-page bill.
It is.
It's not like it's going to take forever. It's not a 1,100-page bill. If he's voting on those, he certainly can co-sponsor and support a piece of legislation that's only 1 page long that every constituent that he has that I've talked to so far about this supports. I would expect that he would support it as well.
Fired up, all you got to do is go watch the video where they say we have to do.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to judge.
Except there was $3,000 per person that lived in New Zealand. Go figure that out.
It's ridiculous. But the thing is, they have to ask for written permission to get the information out. This bill would change that, so our Congress has the ability to get the information they need to make educated decisions, make educated votes. Right now, it's kind of like they're driving in the dark.
I wrote to Senator Osborne many months ago expressing my concern that this case with the Federal Reserve Reserve and its unchecked operations. He replied to me in a letter saying he was going to sponsor legislation to have the checks and balances put in there so that the Congress could. That was months ago, and he still hasn't stepped up to the plate. I think he's a friggin' hypocrite.
That's very possible. He wasn't the first hypocrite in Washington, I don't think. But the fact of the matter is, like Donna said, we're dropping off thousands and thousands of petitions today. So hopefully he'll listen to his own constituents.
Yes.
Why would any of these politicians be opposed?
Well, that's something we can't understand. Every Republican is signed on, and more than 100 Democrats.
I haven't heard any of these.
Because I'll tell you why. Because of corporate shill. Many of them are in the pockets of some of these financial institutions. They contribute to their election campaigns.
Yeah,
They're not going to do anything
it's over for you if you get
that will
involved.
keep them from doing that again.
Same reason
They're watching out for themselves.
why you picked it off the back. It's 3 years ago when Republicans sponsored legislation just to pay back.
I think there's a bigger issue here. The bigger issue is Congress and the political elite do not want the public involved when they're budgeting and spending their money. If you open up the Federal Reserve, the question becomes then, what is the Congress doing? So I think the more they can keep
Okay.
the public out
All
of
right.
the government's business, when it's the Federal Reserve, Congress, they're happy.
You're absolutely right.
Where do you suppose that money trail leads?
Yeah.
They want their hands on the checkbook, and if there's an audit of the Federal Reserve, the people will not let them have their hands on the checkbook. They would be forced to shut it down. That's what they're afraid of.
If there was nothing to hide, they wouldn't be trying so hard.
That's right.
Is the Federal Reserve constitutional at all?
I'm sorry?
Is the Federal Reserve a constitutional entity? Does it